Good morning. So, as many of you are stuck in your houses just like me, I betcha you don't know what to do with all that milk that you put in your freezer. When you take it out, sometimes it lasts for a while, sometimes it's beyond the expiration date, but you can still use it until it smells sour. If it's been deep frozen, like in our deep freezer, we keep it. This one has a date of April the 3rd. It's now the 21st. We've been using it for a few days now. But frozen milk sometimes has these separation rings, and a lot of people don't like that kind of texture in the milk or the way that it looks. So what we're going to do with that today is we're going to make a very simple, semi-soft farmer's cheese. And it's a really easy process. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to take your milk and pour it into a stock pot. And as you can see, we have it in a stock pot, just the milk, and you can see steam starting to come up. This means that the milk is actually hot enough. Now, be careful because if you turn it on too high, it'll scald on the bottom. So our milk is hot enough. It's not quite boiling, but now steaming. I'm going to turn it off. Actually, I'm going to turn it on low. And I'm going to take some white vinegar. Right here I have about, I don't know, half of a cup of white vinegar. And what it's going to do is it's going to separate the whey from the curd. And so here I go. I'm going to pour it in. There's a reaction that separates the milk here. So you can come a little closer. You can see it's starting to bubble. And that is the curd separating from the whey. So to encourage the curd or curdling, I'm going to just gently mix in my vinegar, and you can see it's starting to form curds. The more vinegar that you use, the bigger the curds that form, and you don't want to whip the curds because it'll make them very small and a little bit harder to sift through. So while this is kind of setting and curdling and separating, as you can see that those yellow spots is the whey separating from the milk. So we're going to come over here where I have set up a colander over a bowl and a clean cloth. Now you can use cheesecloth or any kind of thin cloth. This is just a kind of a woven cloth that I've been using to strain things for myself. I'm going to go back to our stove and check on our milk mixture, and it looks like it's doing a really, really good job. Everything is separating very beautifully. We want to get as much of the white out as possible. So the more yellow you see, the better. I'm going to turn off our stove. And it looks like everything's pretty much separated. So take off our spoon, and we're going to take this over and pour it in. It's going to sift that watery whey from the curds. The whey will be in the bottom of the bowl, and the curds will be stuck in the cheesecloth or whatever cloth that you choose to make. And as you can see, it looks kind of like baby throw up. But don't worry, it's not going to taste like baby throw up. You see in the bottom is our whey that's being sifted through, and we're just going to leave that until all of our liquid has gone through, and you can see it's starting to look like actual cheese. I know, isn't it cool? This is all going to be a little bit harder, kind of like a cottage cheese texture, but maybe a little bit more smooth. So when you strain your farmer's cheese, you're going to notice that it looks really crumbly. So this is what I do. I put it in a safe bowl, and I get my stick blender, and I put salt to taste and herbs or whatever you want to do. You could even do like a pumpkin flavoring, or maybe even a sun-dried tomato basil, whatever you'd like. But when your cheese is done straining, it's going to take about 20 minutes to a half an hour to fully strain. The more you strain it, the harder those curds are going to become, because the less liquid they will hold inside them. And it might be a little bit harder to get a smooth texture the longer that you wait. We're going to smooth it with our stick blender until it's nice and smooth like a cream cheese. put in our spices or whatever we want, and the end result is a soft or semi-soft cheese that we can put in a container like that. Now, it'll be pretty soft at first, but you put it in the fridge and it'll firm up quite nicely. This goes great on bagels and crackers. If you wanted to make a sweet version, you could put it on apples or other kinds of fruit. But that's it. That's how you make semi-soft farmer's cheese. I hope you have enjoyed this version of this recipe, and I hope you can use it. And happy cheese making with all that quarantine milk. Bye, guys.